experiencing learning difficulties, but they were also experiencing cross-domination. Well, what is cross-domination? So, of course, we knew a little bit about it, but we went and did some research and we found out a little bit more about it. So basically, cross-domination is actually I need to explain this more simply than that. So we've got two sides of our brain and two sides of our body. We operate symmetrically, but of course, most of us are right-handed. So about 80 to 90% of us are right-handed, and about 20% of us are left-handed. So if you know somebody who can use both hands to write or to play an instrument or do a sport, you would say they are ambidextrous. And being ambidextrous is quite rare. So I guess to really understand the enormity of that, I think back to my father, who was left-handed but was forced to write with his right hand. He still remembers being smashed across the knuckles with a ruler if he attempted to use his left hand. So he became a right-handed writer for all of his schooling. And he said to me that when he was becoming an engineer, a civil engineer, that he could actually do his exams, some of which were 4 hours long back then, and he could actually start with his left hand, write across the page, swap hands, pick up the pen with his right hand and keep going. And then he would swap. So then he'd go back and then he'd go back. And he said he actually didn't get hand fatigue as much because by being forced to use his right hand, even though he was left-handed, he could actually be ambidextrous and use both. Of course, once he left university and his writing wasn't as prevalent anymore and they started using computers, he lost that skill and he became, again, a left-hander, which is what he was. So when you have ambidextrous, you are equally capable on both the right and left hands, sometimes feet, things like that. When you are cross-dominant, it means that you might be good at doing something with your right hand, for example, playing tennis. But when you go to play golf and have a golf swing, you're actually better on your left hand, and you're actually a left-handed golfer. So in other words, you are mixed-handed. In other words, two hands and two different feet for two different subjects or two different tasks. I know this can be true of musicians. They might play one instrument right-handed, like, for example, a guitar. But when they go to use a flute or to play something else, they find that they might be using their left hand. This is very true of me on water skiing, but not with hands, with feet. So when I water ski, I literally put a slalom ski on, which is a single ski, and I literally cannot work out every single time I go water skiing, I cannot work out if I should put my right foot forward and my left foot back, or my left foot forward and my right foot back. I always start right foot forward, left foot back, and I realise after I've fallen off and crashed and burned about 4 times, I actually need to swap it around and do my left foot forward and my right foot back, because your right foot controls as you carve through the water. So I actually have to swap them around. So mixed-handed, mixed feet is different tasks with different hands. And our topic today, of course, is cross-domination, and we want to understand the relationship between cross-domination and learning difficulties, because there was this recurring theme of mums and dads in our Facebook groups talking about how their children had learning difficulties, but then they had cross-domination. Now, I know this is a specialty area for occupational therapists. So if you are an occupational therapist and you know lots of information about this topic, I would love to hear from you in the comments below. So let me know what you know about cross-domination and its impact on children who have learning difficulties, because it was coming up time and time again. So let's just go back. I want to talk to you a little bit here I want to tell you a little story. So there was a boy called Simon, and he was going to go to a golf range. He'd never played golf before, but he was a pretty good athlete. In fact, he pretty much took on anything he took on, he was able to achieve. He played most of his sports right-handed. So he picked up the golf club, ready to have a swing, and he went to whack the ball. And he said in his own words that the results were incredibly embarrassing. And not only that, it was downright dangerous because he barely connected with the ball. But when he did, it hit the roof and then it sliced off and then it flew out and then it only dribbled a few feet in front of him. And then he decided to try left-handed and he was instantly successful. So it's interesting how a child may write left-handed, but they might be naturally right-handed with basketball, bowling or boxing or kicking with their right foot and using tools. So cross-domination or mixed-handedness is when a person favours a different side of the body for different tasks. So some people may use one hand to write and play sports and the other hand or feet for a different task or sport. So what I want to talk to you a little bit about is why this cross-domination and mixed-handedness can impact on people with learning difficulties. So the general rule of thumb is the left side of your brain controls reading. So if you are cross-dominant or mixed-handed, there would be a fair bit of confusion going on with who is responsible, which part of the brain is responsible for what. And it's this cross-domination that can result in your brain being disorganised, with information being all over the place, causing delayed processing, because your brain is trying to figure out all the different pathways to make something happen. It's a bit like having a shoebox full of receipts. It takes time, and you know the receipt that it needs in there, but it just takes you a while to find it. So where it has a big impact on learning for our children is that other parts of the body, like eyes and ears, can also have cross-domination. So if your information is being heard by a dominant left ear, but being seen on a whiteboard with a dominant right eye, then writing down with the left-handed right-eyed combination, I think that's the way I put it, it can actually cause lots of different comprehension difficulties according to research. So how do you find out which is your dominant eye? Well, you extend your arm out in front of you and you put your thumb over a distant object. When I did this, I used a light switch. Then you close each eye one at a time. If your thumb remains over the object when one eye is open, then that's your dominant eye. And I was left eye dominant, which I thought was really interesting. I'm a very good reader. I love reading, it's my thing. And I was left eye dominant. But apparently, if you have crossed or mixed domination, it can also result in confusing letters like B and D, or words like was and saw when writing, or numbers, mobile numbers or bus numbers or locker numbers. And do you remember yesterday I was talking to you about visual processing deficits? Well, this is kind of related, because remember I said to you, your eyes have to work together equally well in terms of what they see and the timing and information going into the sight centre of your brain. So if you have a one-eye dominant child, straight away, this is what happens. Your brain in the dominant eye favours the messages from that side. So it makes a lot of sense when you think about the fact that you can get distortions because your eyes aren't working with versions, they're not working together. So the child who might be right-eye dominant but left-handed has a whole lot of contradictions going on in terms of the way their brain works. And as I say to you, I am not the expert on this particular topic. I haven't done lots of research on it, but gee, it was interesting reading about this topic to actually provide this information for you today. I really want you to have a look at this. The other way you can tell if which a child is you basically get a piece of paper and you roll it up and you hand it to a child and you say to them, look through the piece of paper and tell me what that number is on the wall over there. And immediately the eye that they choose will be the eye that's their dominant eye. So how simple is that? I remember when I was doing physical education at Teachers College, they were trying to work out which foot we were, right or left, and they literally stood behind us and shoved us. And the foot that jumped out first was the foot that became our dominant foot. So depending on which one you stepped out of first to stop yourself from falling. I think the same is probably true of our hands. We tend to put the one out that's our dominant hand. So if you're right-handed, you'll tend to put your right hand out first to break your fall. So there are ways of working out which one you are. And if there's a bit of confusion going on, it can definitely muck around with the messages and information in your brain and the messages being passed around, specifically when it comes to reading and learning how to read and spell. So that is what our topic is today. So I would say I'm a good reader and I have left eye dominance. But what I want to know from you is I want you to tell me what you think you are. Are you left eye or right eye dominant? And do you consider yourself a poor, a fair, I think it's poor, fair, good or very good reader? So that is today's survey. So make sure you click the button in the blog post below, and also you can let us know on the Facebook in the posts below as well, and tell us what you think you are. So Anne-Marie has said, in the 80s, my husband was referred to as cross-gated, and I'm guessing she's meaning when they walked. Is that correct, Anne-Marie? Actually, now she's saying this was to do with his eyes. So cross-gated, interesting. I'm really interested in that, Anne-Marie. I need to go find some more information about that. And yes, it was to do with sighting a rifle at targets. So that has definitely got to do with which eye he would hold his rifle up to. Gee, I can tell you straight away, I want to look through this eye, which is my right eye. Yeah, I'm apparently left eye dominant. Or maybe I've got cross domination. I don't know. But there you go. That's today's topic, and I hope you've enjoyed it. And I hope I've inspired you to find out a little bit more about it. Zoe Lee has just told me that she is right-eyed and she is a very good reader. So excellent. This is what I want to know. I want to see if I can see any trends in your feedback. So have a super day, everybody. Yeah, it's a beautiful day here in Melbourne today. Nice and mild. Thank you, everyone, for your likes and your good wishes. I love to hear from you. And I will see you again tomorrow with some more information. So have a super day, everyone, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye for now.